Well, Kris Frank joins us via Skype to talk about his book, Hope Always, from Pauline Books. Kris, thanks so much for being with us. How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
All the way in Ohio. You're out there in Ohio. Is the weather good for you?
You know, I haven't been outside yet today, but it looks okay. Getting a little cold, but yeah, it looks all right out there.
Well, the cover art features an anchor. Sometimes it's seen as something that can keep us grounded. Other times as something that weighs us down. How do you see this connected with the virtue of hope?
Yeah, and I mean, I think the cover, again, just to thank the Daughters of St. Paul and my friend Ryan, who came up with the design, it looks great. And, you know, that idea of an anchor comes from the book of Hebrews, that hope is that thing that really keeps us solidified, that we hold fast to, because the virtue and most virtues are usually found between extremes, right? I think with hope, it's found between despair, just thinking everything is horrible and it's never going to get better, and then delusion, this idea that we're bulletproof and nothing bad is ever going to happen to us, despite the fact that we're all in 2020. And I think we all know that bad things can now happen. And so hope is that thing that I think keeps us kind of grounded between these two extremes, so that we can keep our eyes and our perspective in line with the church and with Christ, so that no matter where we find ourselves, in the highest of highs or the lowest of lows, we know that our hope and our future is rooted in Jesus Christ.
So the next natural question, I'm just going to throw this out to you, Kris, because Katie Prejean McGrady says this is essential reading. My Episcopal motto is Jesus sola nobis spes. Jesus is our only hope. What do you think about that? Do you agree with that?
I 100% agree with that. And in fact, this book, you know, it's funny. I've done a few interviews and podcasts about the book, and people talk around different parts of it because every chapter focuses on a different hurdle towards our hope. So anxiety, doubt, discouragement, the list goes on and on. But just to kind of be a spoiler here, everything ties back to Jesus. And so whether we're in a season of discouragement or struggling with an addiction, not that we just turn to Jesus and everything just gets better, but we turn to Jesus and we find the grace to find the avenues through whatever mess we find ourselves in, because again, our God gives us life to the full, and there is hope despite whatever season we are in. So I'm right there with you, Bishop.
Is it a struggle, Kris, to confuse hope sometimes with a cheerful outlook?
Oh, I'm sorry, I think I lost you for a second. Can you say that one more time?
Is it a struggle sometimes to confuse hope with a cheerful outlook?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's just part of the English language, right? I love pizza, but I love my wife. I think everyone knows I mean something different there. I hope in Jesus, and I hope the line at Chick-fil-A isn't too long. We're also saying different things in that sentiment as well. And so I don't think there's anything wrong that we hope for a short line at the restaurant or anything like that. But when we talk about hope, specifically the virtue of hope, we are talking about something much deeper and richer than just optimism or kind of pie in the sky wishful thinking.
Kris, we share something in common. I bet you didn't know this. I was once a pastor of a parish in the inner city. So in your book, you share experiences from your own life and your work with young people in the city, urban youth. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I work for a Catholic nonprofit called Vagabond Ministries, and we're in a few different cities around the country. And what we do is just that, is we work with inner city youth, specifically neighborhoods where people haven't really been able to gain much headway with teens or the families. And we try to simply bring relationship, one relationship just with them on a level of solidarity, but of course, relationship with Jesus Christ. And so we move into these neighborhoods, we try and build some kind of connection, we share the gospel, and as we get to know them and grow with them, we can then kind of help them connect with other ministries, soup kitchens, homeless shelters, social workers, people who can help provide on a material level as well as we continue to journey with them on a spiritual level. And so, yeah, in this book, I talk a little bit about some of the difficult situations that we've seen in the inner city, and that even in these situations that seem hopeless, there is always hope.
In today's world, there are so many different distractions, and there's so much going on, especially with youth as they try to figure out their role in the world. Is it hard to get them to focus on Jesus?
It is, to a certain degree. I think all of us, especially in this day and age where they have a basic computer in their pocket with their phone, and everyone is just kind of going on to the next thing. And technology and information is traveling at the speed of light. It's hard to get anyone to focus. And yet at the same time, I found that there's a real hunger for hope. There's a real hunger for deeper meaning. And I believe that meaning is Jesus Christ. And so it is difficult on a superficial level, but once you can get past some of the distractions of this world, there really is openness and a desire for something more. And we've been able to tap into that a little bit.
The subtitle, Kris, of the book is Our Anchor in Life's Storms, and that is to say, hope. And it seems, as in each chapter, you take a particular struggle and kind of unpack it. Is that the case?
Yep. That is the case, yes.
Well, I think it's something that people really need to read. Where can people get a copy of this book? Because, the Advent season's coming up. I like to think that Christmas is always around the corner. Where can people get a copy?
That's right. Well, you can find it in Catholic bookstores, but you can also find it at Pauline Books and Media's website through the Daughters of St. Paul, and also on Amazon and other outlets like that. So it's available. It's out there.
Well, Kris, thanks so much for spending some time with us today and for sharing your book with us. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Thank you. You too. God bless.
God bless, Kris.